Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Sonder Social. I am Malika. If you've never had a social with me before, I'm super excited to lead you through your weekly setup. I have done so many Sunday afternoon weekly setups, but I haven't done them in a while. So I haven't seen the Sunday afternoon crew in a long time. So I'm excited to lead you through your social today. I am joined by the one and only and the fabulous Katie. She is helping out in the chat. She will be answering any questions you might have that pop up, just kind of hanging in with all of us. So make sure to say hi to Katie. And before we get started, make sure to set your chat to everyone. Make sure you kind of check that blue toggle. Sometimes Zoom acts a little funky there. So just double checking if that's set to everyone because that is how we will communicate with each other throughout this hour together. So thank you all so much for joining. We'll go ahead and get started. But before I get started, is there anyone who is new to a Sonder Social, maybe new to a weekly setup? Anyone who is new, feel free to say I am new. Let's see. Nikki, this is my first social in August. Great, that counts, sure. April, welcome. Greta. Oh, Greta is here. Let's see. Is there anyone else that's new? Okay, I feel like only April is new. Oh, Christina's new as well to setups. Amazing. Okay. Well, welcome, April and Christine. We're so excited to have you join us. We are a chatty crew, so the chat is gonna go by pretty fast. So I'm also coming in. I just came from like a back-to-back social engagement after another this morning, and it's all women's groups, so it was so fun. So I woke up, started my day with a Pilates class and a pickleball like tournament situation. It was all women at this place called the Bay Club in San Francisco, which was so much fun. And it was like a free event, so there was like hundreds of girls, and it was like a great way to start the Sunday. And then just hung out with my friends. So I'm excited to continue on with the community, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So I do want to point out we do have an exclusive social August 18th. So make sure to check it out. There are some limited spots available. So make sure to check it out. It's called Back to School, Back to You. So it's really kind of sitting down with the CEO of Silk and Sonder, and really kind of diving in a little bit more about being in control, and just really kind of reclaiming the driver's seat of your life. So make sure to check it out. Katie dropped in some great info about the event and how it ties in with our theme of velocity. So definitely check that out. And it is on August 18th. So make sure to mark your calendars and feel free to bring a friend as well. So it's not just for the people in this community. Obviously, these events are very specific to our community, but if you want somebody, maybe somebody in your life that could, benefit from something like this, definitely bring them along. Okay. Since we do have a few new folks, I'll quickly run over the community guidelines. So Silk and Sonder, community guidelines for Sonder socials. It's really to be kind and courteous to yourself and others. No promotions or spam. Respect everyone's privacy. No hate speech or bullying. Any repetitive product and accessory questions or care inquiries can go to hello@silkandsonder.com. And just remember, Sonder socials are really a way for all of us to connect with one another. I love these weekly setup socials because we really kind of dive into the theme a little bit. So we kind of level set and really understand, okay, as we're setting up our weeks, Do we want to kind of tie it to the theme? Do we feel like we take inventory of, what went well, what didn't go well, and then figure out how to set up our upcoming week so that we can kind of really feel like we're getting the most out of our schedule. So I really like these socials, and as you'll see in the slides, we get so much inspiration from all of you. You all take these kind of pages and really make them your own, and it's truly just like a canvas. You are the one that gets to decide how you want to set it up, and we'll walk you through some different alternative ways to kind of best fit your week. But okay. We'll go ahead and start off with this month's theme of velocity. So velocity, I always like to turn to the page 3 in our journals here. And velocity is defined as the rate of motion, action, or progress in one's personal journey, measuring not just how fast, but how intentionally one moves forward in life. And I love this letter, like this specific phrase in the letter, where it talks about kind of how when we chose this month theme of velocity, before it meant that fast was the goal and more was always better. But when you realize velocity is not just about speed, it's about direction. So you can be going as fast as possible, but if you're not moving in the direction that's aligned with you, it's kind of useless, right? Like, what are you moving fast toward? There's always going to be another goalpost, but maybe it's not in the direction that you need to go. So, really thinking about velocity, it's not always about check boxes. It's about choosing kind of which check boxes matter. I love that analogy. I think like we tend, especially, I don't know about you all, but I feel like I've always kind of followed a specific path. But there's always like twists and turns in the path that I sometimes hit a point where I'm like, do I stay in this path or do I pivot? And usually when I pivot, it's like in a direction that's more aligned with what I'm looking for. So it never feel afraid to pivot if it's something that's more aligned with what you want in your life. So keep that in mind as we're thinking about this month's theme of velocity. It's not only about speed, it's about direction. So we'll start off with the velocity mind map, and then we'll move to Rosebud Thorn, and then we will set up our weekly pages. Okay, so for our velocity mind map, turn to a blank page in your August journals. We're at the beginning of the month, so hopefully you have a few more of those. Otherwise, you're feel free to do this on a separate paper. But we kind of talked about velocity. And really, as we dive in each week with a different kind of focus area, we're gonna explore velocity through different lenses. So I will kind of walk us through the velocity mind map, the first exercise together. Keep in mind that for folks that are new to weekly setup socials, we always do a mind map exercise for each weekly setup. And each week that you come to the weekly setups, we kind of explore a different domain. So because we're starting fresh, we get to start a new mind map together, all together. So we're going to start off with the first week, which is My True North. And before we can like change our pace or direction, we have to really get honest about where we're currently headed. So momentum without direction just means we're just moving fast towards something maybe not the right thing, but the wrong thing. So when we're thinking about kind of our true north, let's look at kind of the path that we're choosing right now, and try to write down like absolute one primary direction you want your life's momentum to flow toward to this month. So this isn't really like a out there New Year's resolution style goal, but rather specifically time boxing something that you want to achieve, what direction you want to move towards for this month. So it's really thinking about what that direction is for you. And it's not just a goal list. So a compass doesn't give you 10 directions, it gives you kind of one true North Star, right? So really thinking about kind of given this constraint of one direction, really think about what that is, and really be intentional about what that direction is to you. Because obviously we're pulled in so many different directions, by other people in our lives, work deadlines, family, social, all of our to-dos. Really thinking about if all of that was stripped away, where do I want to go? Independent of all the outside noise, where do I want to go? So I will give you all some time to really kind of sit with it, and think about kind of what that direction is. And we will regroup in a few minutes. I love the chatter in the chat. It moves so fast that I wish I could respond to every single one of you. But I love what everyone is sharing about what their kind of true north is right now. It's also very I don't know, representative of the word Sonder. Like everyone has these complex lives, where everyone's dealing with different things in life and different focuses for everyone. And it's kind of really represent like that's the true north. However you define it, it's like very indicative of where you are in life. And I really like that. So thank you all for kind of really reflecting, thinking about kind of what you want to prioritize for this month. I think it's really helpful to open up this month with like a almost like a monthly goal. And different from like your day-to-day goals. This one's more of like a okay, like your overarching goal, what's something that you need to, given how the past couple months have been, or even the past month has gone, what is something that you want to do a little bit differently coming out of August and into September? And I always like to say August feels like the Sunday of summer. I don't know how to explain it, but like it's kind of that bookend of summer. It feels a little bit more transitional. There's not really any holidays in August, so I feel like it's kind of like the Sunday of summer as we move forward into kind of September. So, yeah, I like that kind of analogy as you think about, what we want to focus on for the month. All right, so now that we've kind of done a little bit of reflection, it's time to do a little more reflection, but for our rose, bud, and thorn. So typically, you can figure out kind of the time span for this. I like to do a reflection on kind of the past week or two and just really do a analysis of my rosebud thorn. So for folks who are a little bit new, your rosebud thorn, you can either do it in your July journals or you can do it in your August. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out the page for it. It would be on page 30 for this week. So feel free to do it in your August journal or in your July journal. But your rose is something that's going well, a highlight or something that you're grateful for. Your bud is a new and emerging opportunity, something that's new on the horizon that you're looking forward to. And then your thorn is something, a challenge or something that you're struggling with, that's just been kind of difficult to navigate. So I always like to share my rosebud thorn, and I would say my rose is my weekends have been incredible lately. Like every weekend. I've had has kind of struck a balance between, active errands that are like not boring errands, but like kind of fun errands, productivity, and then fun and social. So I feel like I get like a good balance of like my alone time, but I also get a lot of, I've been socializing a lot more with friends. And it's just been really nice to kind of have that balance. And yeah, it's been very energizing, especially when I've been feeling like so low throughout the week with work, which is my thorn. My thorn is it's been really hard not to wake up feeling really overwhelmed each day during the week. I just feel like I dread it and I'm overwhelmed and just dealing with a lot of politics that have like kind of directly affected my day-to-day responsibilities. So it's just been really, really overwhelming and stressful and just a lot of expectations on one person. And I don't really know how to keep moving in this direction without burning out. So I just am trying to take it day by day, trying to have my healthy mindset, as much as I can as I kind of navigate towards, the days for work. But anyways, my bud is I am really happy. I'm investing more in myself. I put Invisalign here because I've been on like the Invisalign journey since March and I had to do another round and I'm almost there, so I'm very close. I hope I don't have to do another round. But I'm really happy that I did that because I feel Like, I've been wanting to do that for a long time, but I also think I've been investing in myself in a different way. Because I've been feeling so burnt out from work, I've been seeing a life coach to really help me figure out kind of what I need more of in my life and what are some healthier things that I can incorporate to really make that switch. So I think I was talking to Leanne in the chat, but basically one of the things I said I wanted to do with my coach and really commit to is have a transition activity from work to personal because I work from home, I live at home, I live in a studio apartment by myself. There's like no like real shutting down of the work. So my activity is going to be something more creative. So it'll be either painting or I just ordered a needlepoint canvas and I want to learn how to do needlepoint, just like different little art projects or crafting, because I always felt like when I was a kid that brought me a lot of joy. So I want to do something that's going to bring me joy, that'll mark kind of the start of my personal life a little bit more day to day. So that is also something that I'm really happy about and looking forward to incorporating more and more. So I will stop talking for a couple minutes and I will let you all reflect on your rose, your bud, and your thorn. All right. Thank you all for sharing your rose bud thorn. I know thorns tend to feel really heavy sometimes, and I just want you to remember that life is not always going to be roses, and it's okay to, take inventory of what's a challenge for us. And as we think about kind of our week and how we want to set it up, it's really good to do like a check of where we are currently, right? I think we always have these, I don't know about you all, but I definitely have these like lofty goals that I'm like, oh, everything's great. Like if I was if I was feeling at my peak, sure, I could probably achieve most of those goals that I have. But sometimes it's like, no, realistically, I need to take inventory of like what I'm struggling with, what's going well, what's not going well, and then figure out, okay, how do I actually come up with a plan for the week that's actually going to be a little bit more achievable, rather than, lofty goals that will just never like happen given my current state. So, keep that in mind as you kind of do your rosebud thorn, thinking about what those frustrations are, what those challenges are, what's going particularly well. Um, and kind of go from there. All right. So now we're here for our weekly planner section, the reason you all are here, and we're going to set up section by section. So we're going to start off with how we want to feel. So really think about kind of how you want to feel. Is there a certain word? Is there a certain phrase that's really resonating? You can put a quote in here, you can put a feeling. Once you've written it down, write it in the chat. I want you to tell me kind of what that feeling is for you. I'll put some kind of words here as well as an inspiration, but I see Kimberly wants to feel purposeful. Nathaniel wants to feel organized. Marcia wants to feel creative, content, empowered, motivated, refreshed, intentional, engaged, centered, motivated, organized, present, another motivated, relaxed, loved, accomplished. Um, uh, you know, Greta, that's a really good point. I just want to point out, I love this comment here. I struggle with this almost every week. I pick something up, I pick a word, and then the week ends up being anything but that word. That is so real. I feel like that is so true. Sometimes I'm like, I want to feel relaxed, and I'm anything but relaxed. So much so that I probably can't even sleep through the night. So, I totally understand that, Greta. I feel like thinking about kind of maybe you can choose a couple words. Maybe one of those words will resonate for the week. That's like my best advice, but don't let it make you feel worse. Then I feel like you won't feel, that expectation that you need to measure up. But anyways, thank you all so much for sharing. Now I want us to focus on the weekly major three goals. So this section is right below kind of your feeling section. This week you want to feel. And these goals can really be anything. So it can either map towards that feeling that you just put in that box above, or it can be any goals that you want to focus on for the week. So here are some examples of goals that you can choose. You can set it up where, you want to align it with that feeling, or it could just be any goals. Oftentimes, I don't have it aligned with how I want to feel. It's just any goals that I really want to focus on. So some of my goals for the week are I really want to plan an international trip for myself. I've never fully traveled solo international. I mean, I've traveled solo internationally, but I've always met up with people wherever I went. So I really want to do kind of a solo international trip. So I really want to plan that out, really plan it and put a lot of thought behind what I want to do, where I want to go, and just book it, commit to it and have something to look forward to in my life. So that's something that is a big goal of mine that I'm going to choose to commit to. Um, so really thinking about what those goals are for you. You can look at your previous week, see if there's any goals that you didn't accomplish that you want to carry forward. Maybe you have a personal challenge. Really think about kind of what those three goals are for you. And then I will regroup with you all in a minute or two, and then we'll move on to the to-do section next. All right. Thank you all for kind of figuring out what those three goals are. We will now move forward to the weekly to-do section. So for the weekly to-do section, I'm going to walk us through a couple different ways we can set this up. The first one is something called an Eisenhower matrix. So it really helps you prioritize what's urgent, what's important, and it really helps us not turn like a checklist into a prioritized list where you get to figure out what are actual to-dos, what are decisions that you need to make, what are something that you can delegate, and what are things you need to remove or delete. So really thinking about kind of how you can offset the all the responsibilities that we have going on in our life. So really thinking about kind of what those to-dos are for the week. And honestly, with delegate, I live alone, but technically there's things that I can delegate to Claude. So I need to also take advantage of my subscription to Claude and think about kind of what things I can off. I can you have my little AI assistant do for me, because I don't really have like an actual person to help delegate some of my responsibility to. So thinking about kind of what that is for you is really helpful. And I can also walk us through a couple different other ways to format this. You can also turn this into kind of a need, want, hope to-do list. Maybe you don't have a lot of like to-dos, but you want to kind of be a little bit more you want to kind of add some reflection element to it. So really thinking about what do you need to get done, what are you hoping to get done, and what do you want to get done. That way you can kind of, help prioritize, okay, what are actual necessary things to do and what are things that like would be great if I could do. You can also see some other ideas here as well. A bingo board. You can kind of make it into a fun little game and cross it off with a marker or a sticker. You can kind of categorize it where you do work, home, whatever, personal growth, whatever it may be. And you can kind of choose to categorize it a little bit. Um, and let's see. The not to-do list is also a fun thing too. So, if you don't want to have a to-do list, what are things you shouldn't do? You can also turn the to-do list into what not to do. And then there's also like instead of making it a standard checklist, you can also make it fun and have like little diagrams and get creative with it. So I like this one as well. So I'll give you all some time to set up your to-do list. I'm dying in the chat that people are saying, how do I get Claude to do the dishes and cleaning? If you figure that out, please let me know because I definitely need that. But anyways, I will give you all some time and we'll regroup for the habit and activity section next. right, we will now move forward to the habit and activity section. So this is the last section on page 32 here. And here are some examples for some habit and activities that you can put here. I tend to put this more for like, my typical habits that I want to track. So exercise, making sure that I take my vitamins or just some necessary things that I really want to do every day. But I love the way people have taken this. So, I love this one in the middle where it's very geared towards health and they color coded it and they even wrote in the bubbles like some metrics if you really want to kind of measure things, feel free to do it that way. It's not just a cross off. So I love that option there. I also really like this one at the top here because it really kind of emphasizes almost like a night routine, if you will. So if you are struggling with kind of a wind down routine or a wind up routine, whether it be a morning routine or a night routine, it would be really a good idea to kind of use this section to kind of represent everything you want to get done in the evening for your wind down or your morning routine. So you start off on a good note. So definitely a great way to use the section as well. You can also choose to have a goal or not have a goal. So as you can see, some people leave it blank, some people fill it in. I am team blank. I just do the best I can out here. So I don't give myself a goal. I just kind of like, do the best you can and try to do it every day if you can. If you don't, oh well. Just remember as you're kind of structuring your habit and activity section, just remember to give yourself grace. So I think it's we just need to remember that we're not perfect all the time, and being perfect and finishing all your habits every day is not a representation of whether you're doing well or not in life. So just remember that, your habits and activities, yes, it's something worth celebrating if you can cross off every single bubble, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not an indicator of whether, things are going well or not going well. I think it's more so about the practice of trying to do things on a regular cadence and being consistent about what is important to us is really important as well. So I'll give you all some time on kind of filling out the habit section, and then we'll move on to the meal plan section, the mind body health section, and the shopping list next. We will now move forward to the meal plan section next. So keep in mind on page 33, these are the sections that get heavily, heavily repurposed. So keep in mind, don't feel like you have to commit to what the pages say that they are. If you want to use this as a meal plan, go ahead and use it that way, but don't feel compelled to do it if it's not going to work for you. So here are some ideas of what you can use the meal plan for. So it can be a food tracker, it can be a place for daily affirmations, it can be kind of a study tracker, school study tracker, a work tracker, an exercise tracker, an appointment log, a cleaning plan, a gratitude log. You can really use this however you'd like. It's a weekly spread. I know a lot of folks use this meal plan section differently. I use it differently week to week, so it can really be anything that you want it to be. I really like kind of if you're going somewhere, if you're going to work or whether you're going to a vacation, you want to use this as almost like your wardrobe planner. I thought that was a cute idea as well. There's definitely there's definitely many ways you can use this. So keep that in mind as you fill this out. But you can, of course, use it as a food log or a meal plan, however you see fit. So that's the meal plan section. The next section I'll walk us through is the mind body health plan. So the mind body health plan is really all about kind of your plan to get you through your week. So if you really want to focus on, your fitness and the only thing that motivates you is writing it down and planning it out, you can go ahead and put that in your section. So you can see mine back when I was really on my workout class grind. I would put, which workout I was going to do each day. And I'm no longer on that grind anymore, even though I should get back to it. But really think of this as almost like kind of like a date for yourself. Like you're planning kind of your treat, your little date night with yourself. So what is that going to be? What is that little special surprise at the end of the day that you're going to look forward to? So is it going, I love this alliteration here, Motivation Monday, Talk It Out Tuesday, Walking Wednesday. I love like these different ways to make the week a little bit more fun. Um, you can also kind of separate it out where it's like almost like things you want to feel versus things you need. You can also use the 7 types of rest: social, spiritual, mental, creative, emotional, sensory, and physical, and like have an activity that maps to each one of those. There's a lot of different ways you can set up your kind of self-care plan. So that is the mind body health plan. And then finally, the shopping list. So shopping list can be a shopping list. Maybe you have a couple orders that you need to make on Amazon or on online stores, or maybe there's a couple things that you need to get from the grocery store or your TJ Maxx or Home Goods, whatever it may be. But you can also repurpose this section as well. So this one is also very much a blank box. Here are a ton of different examples and different directions that you can take this. You can put a sticker here, you can put a quote here, you can put your intentions here, you can put a bingo board here. You can use this as like a metrics. Like I love the calmness scale if you want to feel calm, kind of measuring out your calmness. I want to feel relaxed this week, even though I've been the opposite of relaxed the past few months. So because of that, I kind of want to do some sort of bar chart actually this month. So I'm going to use the scale for this shopping list because I didn't fill out my shopping list section in my journal yet. So I'm going to use it in that way. So I'm going to give you some time. I know I just went rambled through 3 big sections on this page, and we're going to regroup together for the I am loving section. So I'm going to give you all a little bit more time to kind of craft out your meal plan section, your mind body health plan, and your shopping list, and then we'll regroup at the last little bit of the hour for the I am loving section before we close out. All right. We're nearing the end of our hour together. It always flies by. And I'm so excited to end it on a great note. So we're gonna kind of take a step back, maybe roll our shoulders back, and really close our eyes for just a second, and really think about kind of what you're truly loving in your life. So really think about what that is, really visualize and identify, what you're loving, what you're excited about, what's been going well. I know we started off with our rosebud thorn, but what is something that you're loving? What's going well? I would say for myself, I've been really enjoying my personal life lately. I feel like I've been really feeling alive the last month. Work has been awful, yes, but like my weekends are my recharge, and I am just such a happy person by Sunday evening after a full weekend of fun. And I'm just like not taking life too seriously these days, and it's been fun. I've been doing a lot more things that are more in line with who I am and what I want, what direction I want to go into. And it's been really fulfilling. So, yay. And I'm loving my adult paint by numbers. It's like my favorite activity to wind down. So, been loving that. Thank you all so much for spending this hour. Thank you for sharing what you are loving in your lives. I love reading through. So, thank you all for spending this hour with me and Katie. And just a reminder to share your weekly planner pages in Sonder Club. We have a YouTube link as well that houses a ton of Sonder social content. We also have the back to school kind of event. Back to you. So we have that in the chat as well. So make sure to sign up for that before spots get full. It'll be Tuesday, August 18th. But thank you all so much for spending time with me, and I hope you have an incredible week ahead. You've done the hard work. This hour was solely for you, and I am excited for your weeks to be moving in the direction that you intend it to. So I will see you all next time. I'm hosting a social on Wednesday evening, so I hope to see you there. But otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye, everybody.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins.